Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And today is something that we don't do very often.
We used to at our old place. So we're going to show you what we get from the grocery. So a few things to note. We raise probably 80% of all of our own food. But there are still things that we like to buy, not need to buy at the grocery store. And most of it is kid stuff.
Yeah.
And fresh produce kind of stuff. So we used to show you this stuff. We quit because it was just madhouse.
It was.
Madhouse.
Yeah.
So we're going to get back to it because this winter's going to be different. Last year, y'all know that we did the pantry challenge and that was really fun. And we did it for about 2 months. It was the coolest thing ever, but we have actually extended that to the entire winter this year because we have multiple years of food stored that needs to be gone through. So no, we're not gonna take everything that we have and get rid of all of our stock. We're just going to filter through it and along the way show you the stuff that we do end up buying at the store.
So yeah, like she said, we're just eating what we're growing. That is the biggest important thing that we all need to remember here. That food will eventually go bad. So if you grow it and you preserve it, you need to eat it. So make sure that you're cycling through that stuff. And so we're going to try to make sure that we're doing what we preach. Eating in season, right? So we're going to eat what is available out there during the season, but for the most part, it's going to be the stuff that we preserved back. Yeah. Now, the biggest thing with that, like we've told you all, nobody can be 100% sustainable on everything that you want all at your farm. I'm a big believer in that. The way that you can be sustainable is broadening your outside of your farm for the things that you want. That I would keep putting an emphasis on want because. Could we survive just fine, bellies full? Yes, with what we've grown here. But I'm talking about the want pieces. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we're using this grocery store experience for. It's some of the want stuff that kind of gets you through, like doing so much of the pantry challenge, and you're like, I just need a little something. A little something outside of what we've been eating in the pantry. So that's kind of what I wanted to explain there a little bit.
Yeah, so with that, we only go to the grocery maybe once every 2 weeks.
Right.
Most of the time, we can stretch it to about a month.
Yeah.
So with that, I want to try and include every week to show you what we get and then how we use that with what we already have in our pantry and our freezers and canned to make our meals that we do. So we'll go through the meals, what we're going to have, and just base it off that so that hopefully if you're in the same position that we are, hopefully that you can get some inspiration for your meals. And if not, hopefully it will inspire you to start this journey.
So if you're new, because this being a grocery haul, it might catch a few new people that check us out.
Let's hope it doesn't.
I kind of hope it does. It's fun.
That's when it gets wild.
Yeah, it gets entertaining down in there. We're used to that stuff. Believe me. Chicken coop, wood-burning stove, tomato sauce. Like, we're good. We got it. Anyways, if you're catching this and you're like, why should I watch this one if I'm just doing normal grocery hauls and you're don't have a farm and this and that? So we're on a dairy farm. We have dairy cattle, dairy goats. We raise beef cattle. We raise our own meat chickens. We raise our own pigs. So the meat area is pretty much locked solid. Our gardening, we have huge gardens that we grow a lot of veggies and we preserve them. And what our channel does is try to convince you to start doing this on a small scale because we're small scale farmers that pack a whole big bunch of food in a year's worth or a year's timing. So this is something that maybe you can start easing your way into. So the stuff that you're seeing in our grocery haul, if you have it in yours, how can you start removing that from buying it from the grocery? Because the less dependent you are on that grocery store, the better your family is. And that is what the explanation of this grocery haul is going to be.
So we're going to go through what we got. We're going to show you the stuff that we normally buy at the grocery store. So with what he just said, there's a lot of stuff missing. There's a lot of things that normal people buy that you're not going to see here. That doesn't mean that we don't eat them. If you're not seeing them, that means that they are produced here on the farm as far as butter, cheeses, milk, trying to think of eggs, the normal staples that you go and you get at the grocery store. You're not going to see that in this. And then there's going to be some extra things that you might be like, you don't need that if you're trying to be self-sustainable. And none of it is needed. We don't need any of it, but there are things that our kids enjoy. We enjoy. Sometimes we like to try new things. So you'll see a couple things of that. And the random things that we buy at the grocery that, may give us that boost when we're eating everything from our farm and we want something a little bit different. So to give you kind of an idea, this is one of our spots for food storage. This is where most of our canned food goes. There is more in the basement because that's our permanent root cellar. It's colder down there. And there's also store-bought stuff in here. So like bulk noodles, bulk flour, bulk sugars, all that kind of stuff. So we always go here first to see what we need as far as like sides or, you know, binders, flour, sugar, stuff like that, oats. And then we go to our freezers. So this is one fridge. That freezer is fully stocked with meat from our farm. The fridge is always for like extra stuff. And then we have two freezers in our garage outside that also hold meat. So after we shop from those things and figure out what we can put together with meals, that's when we go to the grocery. So as far as grocery, our place where we live is not good for grocery shopping. So we buy a lot of bulk, Sam's Club, places like that. We shop from our farm, and then sometimes we'll go to a bigger grocery store if time allows, but most of the time it doesn't because we have so much going on. So our main place that we shop is IGA. Our local IGA here in our town is extremely expensive. There is zero variety, hardly any fresh produce, and when there is fresh produce, it usually doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
So that's a big downfall, and there's also stuff that we want more of, but it's just not available.
And it's unfortunately a part of kind of poorish rural America. You don't get a whole lot of varieties. It's like I said, it's an IGA, and there is a Save-A-Lot, but it's almost worse than the IGA.
Yeah.
But that's really all that we have. There's no other options that are around us unless you want to drive about an hour away. Like I said, we do that, but we try to stick to saying, hey, we're going to use our pantry, not go to an even bigger grocery store, because then you're going to get more nonsense stuff that you don't need. So even though it is low variety, and it is, which the high price is not acceptable in any fashion.
It's double the price. Like
Yeah.
what you're gonna see would probably be about $100 at Aldi. It's about $150 to $200 at IGA.
Yeah, and we love Aldi's. Like if we have an option to go to Aldi's, that will always be our number one choice. But IGA grocery haul time.
Okay, let's show it.
Let's do it.
So most of the fresh produce that you're going to see is basically for the kids. That's their favorite stuff. So we got 3 cucumbers. Wyatt loves to eat them. Raylan loves them too, but also for our salads. This was a mistake. This is green onions that Zach just wanted to get. They were $4.50 for green onions. So we're not going to do that again. I didn't look until she rang it up and she was like, you're not going to believe how much these are. We got some spinach and a salad over here, but these things we're not going to have to buy for long because we grow all of our own salad over the winter time. It's just not ready yet. So spinach will be for
Like I just read what it says
yeah,
on there.
microwave in the bag. No, thank you. We will not be microwaving in the bag. That is disgusting.
Don't microwave plastic.
Don't
folks.
microwave plastic. Raylan got grapes. She loves those. We always ask what color she wants. That's the one she picked today. Apples for her and Wyatt. They both love apples, and we have not gone to get fresh apples yet this year, but we're going to soon. We got some little smokies because the kids love pigs in the blankets for lunch. Pepperonis because they love those, and then pizza sandwiches, charcuterie boards, all that stuff. The lettuce I already told you about. 2 bell peppers because we still have a few peppers left from our garden, but it's now frost time, so that's over with. Parmesan cheese. 2 bags of baby carrots because Wyatt's favorite thing to eat is carrots. Some orange juice, which we don't usually buy, but we just did today and the kids like it. Some syrup. I would love for that to be maple syrup.
Well,
We don't,
that's what I was
don't
going to
have
say.
that
This
around
is,
here.
This is part of rural America issue.
Yeah.
So we would love to have maple syrup. It's not available. And
Yeah.
The reason is because it's so highly priced. And so you have to get the best of the low shelf syrup that you can.
Unless you go to Sam's Club and buy it in
Right,
bulk, but
right.
we just didn't go to Sam's Club this time. We got some broccoli. Wyatt loves to eat it raw. We got 2 things of bacon. That'll last us quite a bit. That's just kind of a treat for breakfast sometimes.
Mama got hot. Get that sweater off. I wanted to talk about the bacon. So if you process your own pigs, the bacon is always the first thing to go. Just like if you process your own beef, the steaks are the first thing to go. It's your favorite things. You're excited about eating that because it's homegrown and it's good, but you don't get a whole lot like you would ground beef or ground pork or whatever it is. So the bacon, I wanted to acknowledge that because I told y'all that we process our own pigs. We do. We have one that's ready. We've already ate all the bacon off the other one, so we got a little bacon.
And this bacon sucks.
It's terrible. It's the worst.
But, you know, sometimes you just want the little flavor of bacon.
Yeah. Once you've had homegrown bacon, it's kind of like homegrown tomatoes, homegrown anything, homegrown eggs. The store-bought stuff sucks, and store-bought bacon sucks. But what we kind of do with that, and you're going to get into the meal plan later, and we like put it in stuff. Like it's not just like,
Yeah,
ooh, a
it's
nice
cooked and
crunchy
then
piece of
crumbled
bacon.
and put it into recipes
Right.
instead of having to buy bacon bits.
Right, exactly, because that's worse than buying this bacon and crumbling it up.
Okay, one more thing to note. Since we do live this lifestyle and we eat everything from our farm for the most part, we do let the kids pick 2 snacks each when we do go to the grocery because it's kind of a morale boost for them, and that way they still get to be kids. So Raylett's favorite snack is tomato and basil wheat thins, 100% whole grain. I mean, it could be worse. Wyatt loves Ritz crackers. He just eats them plain. And then they both love chips, but we usually compromise and get a big box. So like the whole family can eat these. It's 18 bags and it lasts a whole lot longer than buying a big bag of chips that somebody will eat in one sitting.
And it might seem wild, but come on, mamas and dads, y'all know buying them small bags is a lot more helpful than giving them sneaking away with a whole bag. And you're like, what happened to the chips, boys and girls?
Not cheaper, but you don't get to waste a bunch of chips.
Exactly. Portion sizing, because if you're out there in the garden doing something, you had a kid running the house and they got that whole daggone bag, everybody's in for a world of hurting. So that's why we try to get the small ones. Helps with the portion sizing, and we can keep a little bit more control on them.
This is one of those new things I was talking about. Sometimes we'll try something new. This was me. I picked this because we went to Virginia and Tyler had cold brew, and I've never had cold brew. And they had cold brew at the store that was specifically called that, but I didn't. It was just black, and I didn't want that. So I don't know. I'm gonna try this. I don't even drink coffee. I don't like coffee. I like tea, but I don't know. We'll see how it is, and probably won't buy it again. But it'll be a splurge this time. We get deli cheese and deli ham. It's expensive, but it's so much better quality. No MSGs, no fillers, no gluten, all that good stuff. Little mandarin oranges because the kids love those. We usually get kielbasa. None of us are huge sausage fans, and it doesn't work well with us, so kielbasa seems to be the better option.
What a polite way to say
Yeah,
it.
and I mean, it's good for breakfast. We'll throw it in like cabbage, and just the kids love it, so it's good. We got a whole cooked ham because I throw this in like green beans, stuff that needs flavored. And then me and Zach get tortilla chips. So we don't get any of the other, splurgy, nasty chips that the kids like, but they also love these and we have to keep them away from them. These are the good kind. We use them nachos, dipping, just whatever you want when you want to grab a chip. It's better than grabbing something worse.
It's the good kind that IGA will get.
Yes, yeah, the best that IGA has. And then the last thing is coffee for Zach. He's a coffee drinker. He loves good coffee, so he is a Starbucks fan. So he gets the Starbucks.
Yeah, you're right. Bacon feels Monday.
It is. Everything's Monday.
Everything's Hey. A date. Ah, that's cold. I'm gonna enjoy the crap out of these green onions. I can't believe that says microwave in the bag.
That's,
And people do it.
yeah, they do.
I can't even think of that thing again.
These carrots are limp.
They look limp.
I don't want that.
Your coffee, orange juice, apples.
I didn't get anything. I feel taller. I have my shoes on. There we go. That's better. Okay, I feel like I should say, if you are new here, our household is me, my husband Zach, who you've been seeing, our 2 kids, Wyatt and Raylan. Wyatt is 9, Raylan is 7. My brother, we feed him most of the time as well. And then we have family on our whole property, and we do eat a lot together. So all of that has to be factored into this. I guess if you're curious, like with the snacks and stuff, I know it doesn't look alike for a bigger family, but for our size family, it works. So I want to go over some of the meals that we plan to have with. Most of the meals that I'm going to tell you are with stuff that we already have from our farm. That extra stuff is mostly like snacks and just stuff that the kids love to eat. So for breakfast, we do a lot of biscuits and gravy. Zach has a biscuit recipe that he is fantastic at. He makes his own biscuits, and then we do our own gravy from sausage or whatever we have laying around. Sometimes that may be canned gravy that's from our pantry that needs to go through. But we eat a lot of that. Hard-boiled eggs and toast are another big one. We have like 100 chickens, so we're always looking for ways to use eggs. We have eggs for breakfast almost every day because we have to go through those. So hard-boiled eggs is a really good way for us to do that. We love them. And then we'll have toast from Homemade Bread that I make bread every week so that we don't have to buy bread at the store. Breakfast burritos are another big one. We just throw some eggs, some taters, hash browns, whatever it is that we have in the freezer or the fridge into tortillas that I already have in the fridge from last grocery that we didn't use, and we'll have breakfast burritos. For lunches, we do a lot of ham sandwiches or ham on rolls that we make, pepperoni on rolls. The kids will eat mostly just fresh vegetables for lunch. That's what they love, and it holds them over. We do a lot of salads, the pigs in a blanket that I showed you, pizza sandwiches with the pepperoni, bruschetta that we can ourselves. We'll put that on homemade bread. So those are a few ideas that we throw around for lunch. So those are like usually every week. That's what we center it around. That's most of what we do for breakfast and lunches, because breakfast and lunch is pretty simple around here. We'll eat a bigger dinner every day, and that's usually like our main course with meat and then multiple sides. So this week I narrowed it down to a few that I'm going to tell you about that we're going to have. We might eat out once this week if we have family come in or whatever special thing gets thrown our way. We never know what's going to happen. But we are going to be making butternut squash pasta. So we grow butternut squash in our garden, and I have one that needs to be eaten. It cured just fine, but some, like if you grow butternut squash, you just know that some has to go ahead and be eaten that won't last throughout the whole year. And the pasta is the pasta that I showed you in our pantry that we have in bulk, and pasta just doesn't last a really long time, so we try to cycle through that. We have all kinds of different pasta, but we'll probably do like a bow tie pasta with that one. Meatloaf and canned beans. The meatloaf will be from our cow that we butchered, so our ground beef that is really good quality. And then we'll have our canned green beans that we grew from this year's garden, and we'll probably have another side with that, maybe like butter noodles or something. It just depends on what we feel like that evening. Spatchcock chicken with carrots and taters. The chicken will be from our homegrown chicken. It's thawing in the fridge, so we'll spatchcock that and cook that this week with our canned carrots and our canned taters that we need to eat up.
What does spatchcock mean?
It's when you break it. I told you that. It's when you break the center and it lays flat, like a butterfly. Like butterfly chicken. Okay. And then the last one is cabbage rolls and rice. So I bought a big head of cabbage from the last time we went to the store, and cabbage keeps a really long time. But we'll use our ground beef from our cow again, and probably some canned tomatoes that we have, and we'll make some cabbage rolls. And some of our rice that we keep in bulk, we'll cycle through that, and that'll be one of our favorite dinners. That'll be really, really good. And those meals will probably carry into lunch for the next day, so we may not eat some of the other things that I told you, and if it doesn't carry into lunch or we choose something else for lunch, then we can have it for leftovers the next night. So those 4 meals are pretty big with the amount of people that live in this house, especially with the kids. Like I said, they will mostly eat fresh vegetables and fruits the whole time. They may not eat those things, and that's okay as long as they eat something healthy. I really don't care. Yeah, they don't have to eat exactly what we do as long as it's good. But I know that's only 4 meals, but it will probably carry into leftovers and then keep us through the week, and then we'll probably eat out one time.
And the only thing I wanted to acknowledge in the grocery haul that is something that has got its way back into our grocery haul was the cucumbers, the bell peppers, stuff like that. That's stuff we haven't bought all summer because we've been growing it in our garden. Now, all of the cucumbers are now pickles. So they're all pickled and canned up in the pantry, so we don't have any fresh cucumbers. Now, we will not be buying those kind of things all winter long. And the reason for that is the deeper you get into winter, the more that stuff's coming from a place that just created a cucumber or from different countries and stuff like that. And it's not a huge ordeal, but we do try to stay eating in season. And right now in America, there are cucumbers still in season. And that's one thing about IGA that's slightly nice, is they'll even mark it on there where the produce came from. And it's usually in country if it's available in country.
Well, it's usually local farmers too. IGA is really good about that. They do try to source locally as much as they can.
I ain't even sure if you're in there or not.
Here I am.
So I just wanted to make that clear, and we do challenge you all to try to eat in season like that. Like I said, no, we didn't grow that cucumber, but it is here in the States at least. Not going to taste near as good, but that's one reason why we still will buy it a little bit as we're creeping into winter.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard for me to tell the kids no if they want cucumbers.
Right.
If they want Reese's, obviously the answer is no. But if they're requesting a healthy fruit or vegetable, even if it's not grown from the greatest way possible, I will not turn them down from
Right, and squirrel, I just saw that our big tomato is ripened.
Yes.
Look,
yes.
look, grab it, gimme. So if y'all saw a few videos ago, we grabbed this guy out of the garden, completely green. That is a get stuffed tomato. Mm-hmm. So that is going to be a monster.
So that'll be a breakfast.
Yes. Yep. This I know is the last one. So we're going to enjoy every minute of that. Yep. All right, it is the next morning, and we've got some homemade biscuits going on. So these are Zach's famous homemade biscuits. If you're curious, they're in her cookbook. Yep. Also, if you didn't know, she wrote a cookbook. I'll link it down below if you're interested. But it's the reason I bring that up is because it's very relatable to this grocery haul we did. Mm-hmm. It's about using the stuff we have, some of our bulk stuff that we have, like flour and sugar, and making sure that we're cycling through those things. So instead of buying frozen biscuits or whatever, maybe croissant rolls, this was a very easy, like 3-ingredient biscuit that I had a little extra, make it kind of like the Red Lobster drop biscuits. But anyways, point being, make sure that you're forcing yourself to make a little more homemade to work through some of the stuff in your pantry.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've done a video like this, like since our old house, so about 2 years ago. But it's something that we enjoy, and we hope you enjoy. We just want it to be relatable and give you ideas and kind of inspire you if you're on this journey or if you're thinking about starting this journey. Our stores are full of stuff that we don't need to buy and stuff that we don't need to put in our bodies. And if you can get in that mindset and get on the right track and just kind of change the way that you think, you can really get creative and start making and raising a lot of your food and becoming self-sustainable and keeping your family healthier. And not everything that we do is healthy, but we have guilty pleasures too. You saw the kids' snacks. We love to do other things that aren't maybe not the best choices, but it's all about keeping it balanced and just striving to do what's best.
Yeah, and I was thinking that while you were saying it, like, if anything you get from our grocery hauls or anything that we do, it's not about torturing yourself.
Yes.
I see a lot of channels that sometimes it's like, man, I don't want to eat any of that. This almost feels like torture. So I think Jen does force our family to have like a really good balance, like she said. Get you a little treat, and she's done her research. So like Pop-Tarts will never enter our house. That's one of those things that just has so much in it, it'll never enter here.
Neither cereals.
Right, and neither are cereals. But a chip, it's like it's got some bad, but it's overall fluff. Like it's just a puff. And so it's like if that is the guilty pleasure that makes everything else still keep moving good and the home cooking and stuff, it's like, okay, we can sacrifice a little bit there as long as we're not going for the extremes. So we just want to make sure that you understand that we relate. We're with you.
Everything in moderation.
That's right, exactly. So y'all, let us know if you like this video. Let us know if you want to see more of kind of Jen's kitchen and kind of how she runs this household when it comes from this area. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button.
We love y'all.
Until the next one. Bye.
Don't be too hard on us.